uh, trying to figure out why everybody's so so against Biden. I mean, all we've been talking about is the cost of food and how hungry people are and jobs and finances and stuff. I mean, he just made a post on Twitter today, which I'll put it in here. What do you think about climate? Climate is the issue, not people starving, not people being homeless and all that frivolous stuff, you know. And people are complaining about how he's not helping us out. You know what he's helping us do? He's helping us be stronger, okay? And not to mention, I'm kind of impressed with the homeless people that have been evicted, and the homeless shelters are all full. So they had to be creative. They had to be creative or they weren't going to survive. So the homeless people have united in my town together. They have cleared out every little patch of woods that they could behind any business right in the middle of town. It doesn't even matter. It has to be right in the middle of town because, they don't have cars, most of them, either. So they have to be able to get where they need to go. They have created their own city within our city. Apparently, they've created their own language as well, which is really kind of amazing because they can understand what each other says. Nobody else can, but they can. Imagine if if Joe Biden had just like given us stimulus checks, prevented evictions from happening as bad as they did, maybe build a few more homeless shelters. I don't really know, but if he had provided any kind of assistance at all, then these creative minds that we have right now would have homes and they wouldn't have to struggle to survive and they would just be lazy, you know. We would just take it for granted. We wouldn't appreciate what we had, with affordable food and our jobs and stuff. And, now we've had to go out there and hustle. And I should have listened to the government when they were telling me that there is a worker shortage, because I thought it was a job shortage, because I personally have had to put in hundreds of applications to get a job even remotely close to what I was making before COVID. And I know a bunch of my friends and family have talked about that too. Hundreds. But I think it's just, my imagination. It's all of our imaginations, because we need to listen to the government when they say there's not enough workers for the jobs that we have. Because I thought, I'm struggling. I got a job now, but I'm making a fraction of what I did before COVID. So maybe that's just my imagination. I'm not working hard enough. We should use him as an example. If we work really hard our whole lives and just scrimp and save and be a little greedy, that we could also become millionaires or billionaires. And then all we had to focus on was, ourselves, because we can eat, our family can eat, so we don't need to worry about everybody else. You need to worry about yourselves. And these people out here trying to give money to homeless people that are hungry and, trying to help each other out, that's not what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to hoard, and we're supposed to be greedy, and we're supposed to just worry about ourselves. And, as far as the censorship goes, I've recorded a couple of different messages that have just disappeared already because, of course, I'm using, I guess, a government phone so that they're watching me the whole time. I just say that's great. I want censorship. I think that's fabulous. I know we worked hard in the 90s to create the internet, our generation, not me personally, but our generation, to create the internet, to go against censorship so that we would have more freedom, so we would be able to make up our own minds and we could learn on our own without having to pay the government for a college. If we wanted to learn how to rebuild an engine, we could just go on the internet. That's just too much freedom. It causes too much stress. We just need to let them be in control of that, and then we could just, receive what they want us to mentally receive. I think that while we're at it, we should just go ahead and sacrifice all of our rights, because it's just stressing everybody out. Go ahead and let them have all of our guns, ability to carry guns, ability to buy guns. Just go ahead and give that away and let the government be in charge of protecting us, because it's okay. That way we don't have to worry about it. I think our freedom of speech is just a waste of time. We shouldn't be able to say what we want to say. We shouldn't have opinions. It's just too much thinking causes gray hair, wrinkles. We don't need that. Okay. So I think that's what we should do. I think that our right to a speedy trial and all that goes along with that, we should just go ahead and sacrifice that as well. Because if we do get locked up in jail, I mean, at least we're getting 3 hot meals a day, right? And don't have to worry about a roof over our heads, so we're being taken care of there. So it just doesn't make sense why everybody's so against Biden. I mean, he did help us out. He did give us money. And of course, him making us repay it right back out of our taxes with that child credit stuff that he did, you know, that helped us out. I mean, it helped us out in a way where, we might not have thought it helped us out because we had to turn around and pay it right back and we were poor again, even worse. But it's just helping us. A lot of us have to work on our credit. Credit is a problem right now, and struggling is part of that. So you have to pay back what you owe, whether it causes you a lot of heartache or whatever. I mean, that's just part of it. And a few years back, with all this obesity we heard about with the children and stuff, now we can't really afford to feed our kids what we want to feed them, and we don't provide them the snacks that we used to. um, and then you've got people that losing their jobs. They can't afford to drive cars, so they're more healthy because they're walking. Of course, some of them walk too much and it damages their feet and their body, which which enables more jobs and more hours for people to work at the hospital, because they're going to the doctors all the time with their feet bleeding. I saw it many times a couple weeks ago with the homeless people that are hanging around my work all the time, asking for money and attacking people violently. But I mean, if we just let the government take all of our guns, then they can be there to protect us when the criminal types that also live in these tent communities attack us. Okay, we just need to let them take care of that. That's what they're there for, and then that provides them more jobs, because we have to hire more police officers. I talked to a man the other day. He's a welder. He was just hired to build a fence around downtown to protect the businesses. So there's a job right there that they created. We've got to hire people to keep the streets clean because the litter is ridiculous. Security is a big thing. I'm thinking about hiring an extra couple of bodies to help secure my store at night. So there's jobs right there. It helps keep us more aware. We're on our toes more. We're not just kind of like, let me just relax and drive home. Well, no, because I'd struggle to find a ride home because I can't afford a car right now. But I mean, at least I'm thinking about climate now. I'm not focused on not being able to feed my kids a healthy meal 3 times a day like I used to. I'm not focused on my weight loss. I'm not focused on anything except climate and infrastructure, because that is what is important. Now, I'm sure that all the homeless people, by the hundreds that we have, recently come in contact with because of the shelters being overly crowded and stuff like that, and, everybody's just trying to survive out here. I mean, I'm sure that with the vote by mail or whatever it is, that all of them will vote for Biden, because we're all so appreciative of the strength that we have acquired. We have acquired all this strength when we would have just been lazy, taking things for granted. Not no more. I mean, some of those people that didn't even like Trump, I bet you they kind of appreciate him now a little bit. I mean, I don't like nobody. I don't like no politicians. But you know what? I appreciate the passionate, driven politicians we've had in the past. That's for sure. Thank you, Biden. You're a champ, man. You are tops.